One who loses power at the end of his life is easily conquered by one who gains power at the end of his life. Welcome to section 3 of chapter 12 of the Holy Quran. And chapter 12 is Surah to Yusuf, the surah devoted to Joseph. And section 3 begins with sign 21. Let's go. Uh, وقال الذي اشتراه من مصر لأمرته لأمرأته لأمرأته أكرمي أكرمي مشواه عسى أن ينفعنا عسى أن ينفعنا أفا أن ينفعنا أو أو نتخذه ولدا. The man in Egypt who bought him said to his wife, "Make his stay among us in brackets honorable, among us honorable. Mhm. Uh, Maybe he will bring us much good, or we shall adopt him as a son." قال الذي اشتراه من مصر لأمته أكرمه, and that's honorable. Make his stay honorable. Akrimi mata'ahu asa, make his stay honorable. Mata'ahu, his stay. Matwa'ahu, his stay. Maybe he will bring us much luck. Asa and yamfa'ana, or we shall adopt him as a child. Aw natahizahu waladan, adopt him as a child. Uh, where is it? As a child, waladan. Okay, waladan. وكذلك مكنا وكذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض ولنعلمه ونعلمه من تاويل الأحاديث من تاويل الأحاديث ونعلمه من تأويل الأحاديث الأحاديث. Bring us my good ocean. Okay. Thus did we, who is we? God. Thus did we establish Joseph in the land. كذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض, in the land. We establish him in the land. ونعلمه من تأويل الأحاديث, in the land, that we might teach him the interpretation of stories, that we might teach him the interpretation of stories, into brackets, and events. I think stories here means dreams as well. And events, yes, events here means dreams as well, includes dreams. Mm. So it was after he was imprisoned that God taught him the interpretation of stories and events, including dreams. Mm. Um, well, ahadith, including dreams. Wallahu galibun. Wallahu galibun ala amruhu walakinna aktara nas aktara walakinna aktara nas la ya'lamun. Uh, uh-huh. And God had full power and control over his affairs. Mm. Wallahu galibun, full control and power. eh, ala amrihi, over his affairs. Ala amrihi. ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. Uh, where he said, but most among mankind know it not. Most among mankind know it not that God hath full power and control over his affairs. Most of us know it not. Or if we know it at all, we don't appreciate it. Mm. So we go to uh, the commentaries. Mm. They are 1659, 1660. Then 1661, 1662, 1663. Oh, five of them. Mm. Five at a row. Okay, let's go to 59. Joseph is now clear of his jealous brethren in the land of Canaan. The merchants take him to Egypt. Full stop. In the city of Memphis, that was the capital of Egypt at that time. In the city of Memphis, or whatever was the Egyptian capital then, into brackets, he was exposed for sale by the merchants. Mm. The merchants had not miscalculated. Full stop. There was a ready market for him. Oh my God. Oh my God. There was a ready market for him. Mm. His handsome presence, comma, for him, semicolon. Handsome, his handsome presence, mm, comma, his winning ways, his purity and innocence, comma, his intelligence and integrity, combined with his courtesy and noble manliness, attracted all eyes to him. This man being for sale, just exhibiting him like a commodity in the store, eh? Like in a supermarket. Oh my God. Mm. All eyes on to him, combined with his courtesy and noble manners, attracted all eyes to him. There was the keenest competition to purchase him, and in the highest court circles. Full stop. Every competitor was outbid. Every competitor was outbid by high court official, high court official, who is called in verse 30 below the Aziz. We'll get to verse 30, the Aziz. That's the exalted in rank. I think Christian narration tells us it is Potiphar. I think so. Mm. Below the Aziz, the exalted in rank. Mm. Okay, 60. See last note. We should say last note. That's 59. Mm. The Aziz's motive was perhaps worldly. Such a handsome, attractive, intelligent son would get him more honor, dignity, power, and wealth. So you see what was in the head of the Aziz's mind. Mm. See what is in his mind. Mm. To use him for fame and wealth, mm. Power and wealth. Um, 61. We go to 61. How unerringly God's plan works. It is all God's plan, mm, for such events to take. eh, and for people to think the way they think at a particular time concerning particular issues. Mm. Okay, Allah's work plans. To each to teach Joseph wisdom and power, he had to be tested and proved in righteousness, comma, and advanced and established in Egypt, and the way prepared for Israel and his posterity to proclaim God's truth to the world and to make possible the subsequent missions of Moses. Uh, 1662. A hadith, a hadith, to teach him how to interpret a hadith. We are now going to explain a hadith. mm. Might be a hadith might be stories, things imagined or related, mm, things that happened in life or in true dreams. A hadith. mm, Full stop. Uh, well, during the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we call it hadith. His talking, his narrations, his utterances, his practices. Mm, Okay, in true dreams. To suppose that phenomenal events are the only reality in a mark of one-sided, sorry, it's a mark of one-sided materialism. Full stop. As Hamlet said to Horatio, now double inverted commas follows. There are no things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Your philosophy. Inverted commas close. External events have their own limited reality, mm, but there are bigger realities behind them, but sometimes appear, sorry, that's behind them, that sometimes appear darkly in the visions of ordinary men, but more clearly in the visions of poets, seers, sages, and prophets. mm, and prophets. Uh, Joseph had to be trained in seeing the realities behind events and visions. He was hated by his brothers and sold by them into slavery. Semicolon. They were sending they were sending him into the land of Egypt, where he was to be where he was to rule men, but they didn't know. He loved his father clearly. He loved his father dearly, sorry. He loved his father dearly and was separated from him and his mother. And his mother had died early. Oh, and was separated from him, his father. And his mother had died early. But his affection was not blunted. But his affection was not blunted, but drawn to a keener edge when his benevolent work benefited millions in Egypt and in the world. Full stop. His own visions of stars, sun, and moon prostrating themselves before him was no idle dream of a selfish fool, but the prefigurement of a power which used used rightly was to make his own honor an instrument of service to millions he had not seen through through men and women whose own power and dignity were sanctified through him. Full stop. He was to understand the hidden meaning of what seemed futilities. He was to understand the hidden meaning of what seemed futilities, blunderings, snares, evil plottings, love gone wrong, and power used tyrann- tyrannically, and power used tyrannically. And power used tyrannically, full stop. He was to interpret truth to those who would never have reached it otherwise. We go to 1633 to the same uh, sign, that sign 21. Compare into inverted commas. Compare, there is a divinity that shapes our ends, comma, rough hue is hyphenated, rough and then hue, Hew, rough hue them as we will, inverted commas close, double inverted commas close. Then only in Shakespeare, into brackets, Hamlet, V2, only in Shakespeare, into brackets, Hamlet, V2, I think volume 2, we have a vague and distant ideal, an irresolute, an irresolute striving, an irresolute striving, comma, an unsuccessful attempt at getting beyond, into inverted commas, and getting beyond this two solid flesh, this two solid flesh, double inverted commas close, followed by an exclamation mark. In Joseph, we have the prophet of God, sure in faith above all carnal motives, and advancing the destiny of mankind with a conscious purpose as the scroll of knowledge, wisdom, and destiny of mankind with a conscious purpose, comma, as the scroll of knowledge, wisdom, and power unfolds itself. Sorry, I repeated the sentence. As the scroll of knowledge, wisdom, and power unfolds itself before him by the grace of God, comma, all good and powerful, all good and all powerful. We now go to the next sign, 22. Go to sign 22. What is it? Sign 22. ولما بلغ أشده ولما بلغ أش أش أشده آه، ولما بلغ أشده آتيناه حكما وعلما. When Joseph attained his full manhood, we gave him power and knowledge. Atainahu hikmah or ilman. We gave him wisdom and knowledge. That's God. He didn't give it to him in childhood. He gave it to him when he was grown, when he came to manhood, real manhood. For some of us, we have to grow old when you get gray hair. Yes. وكذلك نجزي المحسنين وكذلك نجزي المحسنين. So do we reward those who do good. Thus do we reward those who do right. Thus do we reward those who do right. And the commentary is 1665. 1665. Let's see. Did we do 1664? Yes, it's twofold, 1664 and then 1665. 1664 before 1665. Both of them are commentaries to sign 22. When Joseph left Canaan, he was a young and immature lad, but his nature was innocent and good. Through the vicissitudes of his fortune in Egypt, he grew in knowledge, judgment, and power. This is the opposite of Solomon, who had all these things in childhood. So that's how God does his things. eh? His affairs are full of parents and what's the other word? Mm, are full of parents and I remember the word later. Uh, grew in knowledge, judgment, and power. Yes. We go to 1665. Pairing and diversity. Sorry, I now remember. His affairs are full of pairings and diversities. 1665. Muhsinin. Muhsinin is being explained here. Muhsinin is being explained here. Those who do right, those who do good. Yes. Both ideas are implied. In following right conduct, you are necessarily doing good to yourself and to others. That's the meaning of muhsinin, and uh, that is a second documentary. That's a second commentary to Psalm 22. I think we shall halt here, and when we come back, we'll go to Psalm 23. Uh, when we come back, we'll go to Psalm 23. Thank you very much. May God be with you all. Ila likai. Bye bye. Au revoir.